Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to Marion K. Tarot. How are you? This is going to be your week ahead reading for the 5th to the 11th of May 2025. And this week, I am going to be using one of my absolutely favourite decks, and it's the Tarot of the Abyss by Anna Tournian. Can you see that there? It's mass market, US games. If you are a tarot person, buy it. If you don't already, it's lovely, it's incredible, it's so powerful, and I just felt like we needed it this week. I don't know, maybe it's the Venus Neptune conjunction at Mars and Aries. How we all feeling with that energy? Because I mean, it's the first time it's happened for 140 years. So in all of our first time in all of our lifetimes, it's interesting times, shall we say? So let's get a look and see what energies are coming up for this week. Let's see. Yeah, that feels right. Okay. Okay, so first of all, the energy at the bottom of the deck is the King of Wands. Can you see that? I'm trying to avoid the sunshine. I know, in Scotland, sunshine. That's what's anchoring what energy this week, okay? The King of Wands, and it's very apt. Now, how I see the King of Wands is, it is the entrepreneurial king, okay? It's the person who knows what they're doing with their business, okay? They're self-made, they're passionate about what they do. They take instruction pretty much from nobody because they're in charge, okay? It's Leo energy, it's very strong. And he, she, they, it's not gender specific. It's very much the energy of we're making decisions this week. Okay, now however that's showing up for you, it could be the fact that Mars is in Leo, it could be that energy that's making you determined, it's making you determined to just go for whatever it is you need to go for. We're still in this very fertile period, it's Taurus season. We're in this, this fertile, wonderful energy where, this is blossoming, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, autumn is there. So, but it's still this change of season. We're still entering the new. We're kind of in the midst of. We're not quite brand new, but it's that kind of an adjustment period, between, and we're getting to the height of spring, okay, at the height of autumn. So like if you're in the southern hemisphere, maybe the colours and etc are changing. The landscape's changing in the northern hemisphere as well. It's like we've got spring flowers. I know my bluebells have came up and I absolutely adored them because I'm so lucky that I have bluebells that grow just outside the side of the block that I live in, and it's like the first thing when I open my door I see them, and I adore it. So what have we got the cards properly for this week? We have got the Five of Swords, okay? We've got the Queen of Wands, hello, and we've got the Devil, okay? Now, what am I feeling, when I look at these cards? There is a feeling of this particular Five of Swords, okay, and it's quite a... It's a card that immediately the word that comes to me is cruelty when I look at it. And what it is, it's essentially like there's a butterfly in this jar, and this individual is almost like kind of stabbing it. It's a card of Aquarius, you might be dealing with an Aquarius, or Aquarius might... I don't want to say this, but that you might be in a situation where there's a bit of cruelty going on with something to do with Aquarius this week. Remember, Aquarius is going through a really tough time. They're adjusting to Pluto being in their sign, we've got that the opposition between Mars and Leo and Pluto and Aquarius. It's lessening now, but it's still very present. So that can be causing, it might be causing some of us to say things that we wouldn't necessarily say, or deliver information in a way that is a bit sharper than what we would normally do. You know, just so I would say, be very careful with your words this week. Be very careful with your thoughts, and remember that thoughts, you know, that it's like what you say has got consequences to those who hear it. Okay, it's coming. That's actually coming through quite strong, that message. So be aware, and if you're maybe perhaps on the receiving end of that, don't necessarily think it's something that you've done. Think of it as, you know, it might be the other person's having a difficult time, but that's not to excuse the behaviour. You know, it's like if you maybe need to have a difficult conversation, try to be as neutral as possible. Okay, we've got the Queen of Wands showing up here. She is showing up with her power, her determination, and I'm trying to see, my hands seem to be all over the place today. That sounds weird, didn't it? But we've got this Queen of Wands, and it feels like, you know, she is showing up to, we're not quite ready for the King of Wands to come out into the main reading, but it's almost as if he sent the Queen of Wands as an emissary. Is that how you say? That's how you say that word, isn't it? An emissary, messenger. You know, to bring her energy to the week that we have got. The Queen of Wands being that Aries energy, and really just kind of acknowledge and set him up, but that kind of femininity with Venus being, like I said earlier, with Venus being in Aries and it being conjunct Neptune. Where we see the Devil showing up this week, okay? Now the Devil is very much that, it's a very polarising card. You know, it's like I've often found, you know, some people, like when I'm doing like in-person readings, or when I'm doing like one-to-one client readings, it'll be like some people will be like, when the Devil shows up, they'll be like, oh yes, and other people will be like, oh no, and it's one of the things, you know, you never really get a neutral reaction for the Devil. It's always kind of right. So that's what it is this week. I feel like the Devil is showing up to say, you know what, there's kind of a tough things going on. Remember, the Devil is Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. There is some feelings this week where the Devil might need to show up. Okay, giving you a choice, bringing things into form, bringing things from your head into reality. Okay, it's like tying up. It's like this individual is very bound. You know, it's like an angel tied to the ground, you know, and bound very securely. And it's just this single figure where we're used to seeing so much more, like so many more people in the Devil card traditionally. But it feels like this is bound and grounded, and I think some of you are maybe needing that fire energy for the Queen of Wands to burn those bindings away. Okay, so it's as if so there's a distinct story here in these cards. So it's like, right, so the cruelty of the Five of Swords, perhaps there's something this week that is going to bind you, that's going to trap you. Whilst being trapped in that headspace, whatever, the Queen of Wands has recaptured or reignited your passions. And in order to get the passions to work, you need the Devil. You need to have that slight addictive personality. If this is with regards to maybe your work, maybe your business, that kind of thing, it's something that you're working hard on, something that you know you need to work hard on. So it's like we need the Devil to have that slight addictive of nature to throw yourself 110% into this project, because only you care enough about it. Okay, only you care enough about whatever this is, whatever this task is, and for all of you watching, it'll be something different. Okay, but I want you to remember that, because it's like the devil in the detail, literally. You know, it's like, how many times do we say that when the devil card comes up? You know, but it's such a true saying. You know, and it's like Capricorn is so detail orientated, being an earth sign, and it's necessary. So this week, pay attention to all the details. Last week I was doing something for my business, and I missed a crucial point, and I ended up having to do 2 things, whereas I was only supposed to do 1 thing. It worked out, but I just gave myself extra work. So that's what I'm talking about. You know, it's like, pay attention the first time, and it's like, you know, that measure twice, cut once thing. It's kind of that coming up this week. So my loves, hope that makes sense. Hope you can take something from it. If you feel inclined, put in the comments what it is you're working on, what it is you need to be devilishly detail orientated about. Also, just to remind you, up until the 16th of May, I am running a half price sale, because May is my birthday month. If you want to book a 1-to-1 personal reading with me for an hour on Zoom, so it doesn't matter where you are, there is availability. And yeah, you can come and have a wee blether with me, 1-to-1. Okay, my loves, thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you soon. Okay, take care, bye.